Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lindy. I'm an independent hairstylist who has a passion for all things hair, career, entrepreneurship, and I share a little bit about each one of those things here on my channel. So if you are new, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about how we can save some time in the morning by not washing our hair quite as much. I want to share with you my biggest tips for how you can go a little bit longer without washing your hair. Before I get into this video, I need to say this is for convenience sake, not because I believe that this is going to heal your scalp or your hair, or it's this magic trick for having healthier hair. In fact, I feel like there is a huge balance we need to establish between going longer without washing our hair and still maintaining really good hygiene. Weeks and weeks of buildup on our scalp is also not healthy. So we need to find a balance between, convenience sake of not washing your hair very much, but also really giving it a proper wash. So how do we do that? I typically recommend 3 to 5 days of not washing your hair max. If you are using quality products at the time of your washes, then I truly believe that going 5 days is okay. Any longer than 5 days is kind of pushing it, because we really do need to make sure that we're scrubbing off all the buildup that starts to accumulate over the days from the toxins in the air, the oil obviously on our scalp, product buildup, whatever it is. We also need to make sure that we get a good wash. Okay, so without further ado, let's hop into the video and I'm gonna share with you my 8 tips for how you can go a little bit longer without washing your hair. Oh, and before I forget, if you're interested in seeing more videos, make sure you subscribe below. Okay, let's get started. So tip number one. Use dry shampoo before your hair gets oily. If you think about it, the reason we use dry shampoo is because it soaks up the excess oil. So of course it's gonna work if there's already oil on your hair. Otherwise, why would we use it? But it can extend the life of it if we actually use it before the scalp produces the oil. So on day 1, after you've washed your hair, you don't need to use a ton of it, because of course there will be product buildup and it will feel dirtier quicker. But if you use just a little bit in those areas that seem to get the most oily and oily the quickest, you can work to extend the life of the dry shampoo, because it will soak up the oil as it starts to get oily, especially if you have super fine hair and you feel like by the end of the day it's oily. Try this trick and see if it's less oily by the end of the day. I'm going to show you how I apply my dry shampoo, and hopefully this will help any questions you have of how to properly saturate your hair with it, how to spray it on, where to spray it on. I just want to answer all those questions for you, so keep watching. Okay, so I just want to show you really quick how I apply my dry shampoo. I know that there's a lot of questions about like how to properly do that, so I will just kind of give a little clip showing you what I do. Here we go. I always start at my part, wherever you part your hair, start there. You're gonna hold about, I don't know, 5 to 6 maybe inches away, maybe not even. Here, let me just scoot back a little here. Move my camera. Okay. So you're gonna start at these areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray. You can kind of see how and hear how strong that is. I'm gonna take about a 1/2 inch section over, and I'm gonna spray again. And I'm gonna take another 1/2 inch. I'm gonna spray again. Notice I'm not touching them at all. I'm just parting and moving on to the next section. All the way down to about, I don't know, 1/2 inch away from my ear. I don't really feel the need to go any deeper unless I'm wearing my hair half up. I'm gonna go around the hairline, and I'm just gonna flip my hair back over. Do the same thing on the other side. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna go around my hairline. Oh my gosh, ooh, it's a lot. I'm not gonna touch it yet. I'm just gonna kind of let it do its work, do its job, and then I'm gonna go ahead and part down the middle here in the back. I always do that, so I don't know if you can see. Part it down the middle in the back, and then I'm just gonna spray right there. And then I usually take about half of my hair here, and I do one good spray, and then I also go underneath. Just pick your hair up, spray it a bit. Okay, again, once you're done spraying and getting all the product in there, don't touch it right away. Just let it kind of dry a little bit, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to show you. Afterwards, you can just kind of use your fingers and massage it in everywhere. You want to obviously touch your hair as least as you can, but just kind of make sure that it's in there, even if you want to take a brush to it. And that is pretty much all that you need to know about applying your dry shampoo. I find either people don't use enough, or they use too much, or they just use it, they kind of just pick their hair up at random spots. Really just focus on the spots that are going to be seen and the spots that you find get the most oily the quickest. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so now that we have that covered, let's dive into tip number 2. Don't touch your hair, especially near the roots. Our hands have natural oils that are produced as well. So every time your hands touch your hair or your scalp, you are transferring the oils from your hands to your scalp. We all know our scalps don't need any help with the oil. So if you keep your hands off of your head, you will notice that you can go much longer without washing your hair, and much longer before you actually start to see the oil. Tip number 3, when you wash your hair, make sure that you really scrub it. So I know a common mistake that I see a lot, or I hear a lot of people say, is that when they apply their shampoo, they simply just lather it onto their hair and then they rinse it out. They're not getting any of the buildup off of our hair when we're washing our hair that way. So what you need to make sure that you do when you wash your hair is that you are properly saturating all parts of your hair, really getting in there with your fingertips or your nails, because that feels good. You're massaging that product in and you're lifting the buildup so that when you rinse your hair, it's actually going to come out. If you leave all that buildup in your hair, you're going to feel your hair get oily much quicker. Tip number 4, take advantage of up styles. There are a couple reasons why taking advantage of up styles is going to really help you get the most out of the days that you don't wash your hair. Number 1, when you wear your hair back or up, you're not touching it as much. Back to my previous point, the oils from your hands are not being transferred to your hair, to your scalp. Second reason why this is going to really benefit you is because some of the textured looks require a little bit more of that product. A lot of people obviously will use product for texture, so if you can kind of use your natural oils that are produced from your scalp as like the texture, it can really be used to your benefit if you just embrace it a little bit, which leads me into my next tip. Tip number 5, embrace the natural oils. Use them to your advantage, again, with your up styles. Use it to your advantage to have a little bit of that lift. Like today, I'm on day 3 and I feel like I have a little bit extra product in there to just give it some lift when I want it to. If I were to put it up today, it has a lot more volume than it would on the day that I wash it. So embrace the natural oils. They're not all bad. Tip number 6. Slowly ease into the amount of days that you don't wash your hair. Training your hair, that's kind of something we've heard about before. It really is true. It's kind of a must. If you go from washing your hair every single day to jumping into 5 days without washing your hair, you are gonna notice a lot more oil than what is normal, because your hair is starving for that hydration. So it's gonna go into the mode of produce oil because there needs to be hydration. So if you decide that I'm gonna start going 2 days without washing my hair, great. Start with 2 days and do it for 2 weeks. Obviously at the beginning, it's gonna feel really oily and gross and it's gonna be hard to get through those first few days. But if you just can push through and do that for 2 weeks, and then after that 2 weeks is up, add an extra day. Try to go 3 days. Make sure you're using the products, dry shampoo. Make sure you're giving your head a good scrub in between these times. So you'll really notice that the process is a lot easier than just jumping from washing your hair every day to like going 5 days without washing it. Tip number 7 is cleanse your hair every once in a while with a clarifying shampoo. What is a clarifying shampoo? It's definitely not something you want to use every day. It can be very drying, but it's really going to lift any extra buildup or product buildup. It's going to actually lift that from your hair and really strip it well. This is not something you want to use every day because it's going to strip a lot of the natural oils and it can dry your hair out really quick. But if you just use it every once in a while, it's going to give you a little bit of a longer life of time between washes. As the buildup accumulates on your hair, it's gonna make your hair feel dirtier quicker. So using a clarifying shampoo in between some of those times is going to help give you a fresh slate. My last tip, tip number 8, is avoid conditioning or applying oil at your roots and just focus it on the ends. Our ends are starving for hydration because they don't get any of the oil from the root, really, unless you were to go like months without washing your hair. So just condition your end. I kind of go to like right about here, honestly. I like to be able to brush through my roots as well. But when I like lather on the conditioner, I really try to do less around my root and just more on the ends and just kind of rub it in. Make sure it's saturated throughout all the strands and just avoid the roots. That is it for today's video. I hope for convenience sake that these tips can help you go a little bit longer without washing your hair. And at the very same time, I hope that I was able to educate you on why a good wash, a proper wash in between those times of going without washing is really, really important as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.